Go on to China. China is 3 Chinas. So in Chinese Greek, so you have the ritual of the bath, and it's you might have if you have. I think there's a new copy of this coming out. The bathing of the cleaning of the body is just really, it's a huge ceremony of a caring of the body. The dressing of the body, Now the only place I ever saw where, when men die here, they're put in a suit and women are dressed up like, in like a business. Okay. In other cultures I've gone to, they don't do that. They prepare the dead in a very humble outfit. That is, we call it what's the name? Anyway, it's kind of a brown piece of cloth. And there is no pockets.
Shroud?
Shroud. It might be maybe something like that. It's a sort of goes down to your toes, and that's the only thing that's on them. And there's no. It's like the thing is, you come in with nothing, you go out with nothing, kind of thing. So waiting for something. Waiting for a wife or husband to die. So sometimes in China, what they'll do, if there is husband and wife not doing very well, they're sick, the husband dies or the wife dies first, they will hold the body for the burial until the wife dies, and the two of them get buried together. If the family can afford it, or if there's a few days difference that the other person may die soon, they will wait and then bury both together. And China was the only place where I've ever saw this, read about this, that's happening.
How long will they wait?
Well, they could wait a long time, whatever time it can take, so they can keep the body now in refrigeration. And they used to do it in, well, I guess you can use some sort of straw around the body, and you can artificially bury it in one place, and it will hold. It will preserve it if you go down deep enough, I guess. Because it will be cool enough down there.
Okay.
Yeah. So this wailing of expression of grief is a big thing, and again they would hire people to come to wail in the Chinese, and that wouldn't be the case for everybody. So if you go to a service in Communist China, now that they've got a lot more freedom to do things, whereas before they had to do it kind of like not to use any kind of religious or old ceremony way. But now you can play music, you can sing, there's more of a dance and enjoyment. They've really relaxed on a lot of that, with the. And then there is visiting the grave. If you have, this is called. If you have like a family here that's buried, and about 10 yards away there's another family. Sometimes what they'll do, and I'll get to the next page, they will run a rope around to connect. Run a rope to connect the two, like a cord to connect them, and they will do that in April, what the Chinese Day of the Dead. If you go to the next slide, the day of, it's called the Chinese Festival of the Dead. Have you got that? Oh, sorry, I should go to the next slide here. It's the Chinese Greek. Here. So in these days, in April 4th, 5th, or 6th, they can make a rope to connect. So let's say somebody from this family married somebody from this family. They will do that. They will do it at other times as well for other Chinese fiesta situations. Like there's a baby that's born, the first grandchild or something like that. So you'll also see similar to like that done in Japan and in Korea. It's this, it's kind of a very thick rope that's actually made out of straw, and it's not straw, from the rice stalk, and it's folded up and preserved, and that's made so the spirit can travel back and forth. They can talk to one another, kind of thing, you know. Yes, this ancient way. So there is the other day of the dead is in it's the 15th day. You know what I mean by the 7th moon of the year? We have a thing called the 13th moon. We used to have 13 months in the calendar. The old Celtic languages, 28 days in each month, and we had like a new year every year. What this means here is this: after the 1st of January, the 7th moon after the 1st of January. So if there is a new moon on the 31st of December, that's not counted as one. It's if the new moon is on the 1st of January, that would be moon 1. You see. On the 7th moon, that means the new moon, the coming of the new moon. That would be on the 7th moon. The 15 days after that, they have another ceremony. So it has to do with settling the body down from being a ghost, settling, sort of helping them to travel on, so that they don't wander and be a ghost. When I read about this word spirit on people in that, what I sometimes think about that before Buddhism, there must have been something about the connection of the dead. So when Buddhism came in, it became this huge industry. When it came in from India into China into Japan, you know, all these things that were made to show Buddhism statues and that. That I think when happens, because I see it happening in my own country in Ireland, that it goes back years to how things get done. That it's not at all like what you think of like the Roman Catholic protocol for the dead, you know. And I think some of these words that way they may be translated from Chinese could be used the word spirit when it may be needing something else, you know. Yeah, it's really fascinating, and I think we're well, I don't know about here, but maybe we step out of our religion and we are drawn back into the ancient, of the ancestral belief, you know, to honor, because they come first. So they're going to be the receivers of the spirit of our mom or dad that's now died. They're going to be the greeting committee kind of thing, you know. Does that make sense? You know, yeah, it gets the more further out you get, the more questions trying to fill in the blanks is more difficult. Yeah. This Chinese family I was telling you about, when they used the word spirit, I sort of went along with it. You know, just sometimes they use the word, just kind of go along with it, and maybe later, you know, I'd really like to ask you something. I notice you use the word spirit. Would you mind sort of like, could you tell me what you mean by that? But please don't jump on it right away. Give them a chance to kind of rotate it a few more visits after. Because every visit you have with them, let's say they're coming, they're talking about grief, or, you know, somebody died, belonged to them, their teacher died, and they're talking. Just give them more time, you know, into maybe the second or third visit after. We have this saying in Ireland, like, if you visit somebody's house, don't talk bad about them until you go over the second hill. It's kind of like that, you know. And then, you know, it won't echo back. It won't know, like, oh, guess, like, porridge? What kind of porridge was that? Can you believe the kind of socks they were wearing? You know, I mean, you know, whatever that story is. So each little culture, and after a while you see these kind of things, like similarity, you know, about gee, they were doing that in China. I met a fellow from Montana making Native American jewelry. He was selling it in Los Gatos, California. And he says, where did you get that? He says, I make it in Montana. He says, it just looked like some of the signs that come out of Celtic wisdom years ago. In the Celtic, where you see that circle, the circle of life has no beginning, and life has no end. It is all continuous. Everything is all continuous. There is no beginning, there is no end. It's a continuous. It's like, this is, well, you see, maybe we all are related, in a kind of way.